Rell Vert's rise to fame has been one full of death and betrayal. From turning his back on his former gang to losing his closest friends due to gun violence, Rell Vert has overcome a dark past as he navigates his rap career through the grimy streets of Chirac. While being associated with Chicago's notorious Bloodhounds, the Rell Vert story is one full of substance abuse and betrayal, as his former gang is gunning for Vert as we speak.
You mad because you shot your stuff on the drill? You was a goofy.
Shot yourself on Vert.
Man, y'all niggas crazy, man.
We really want that nigga, man, to roll past Fat Rob so many times. Is that no points, no bucket? Is that lame? Get it up there, stupid.
Once the real find out who you really is, King, they not gonna like you, King.
What?
And you wanna sit up there and diss your motherfucking cousin for some clout?
One of the bullets pierced this door.
What?
We found a shell casing on the sidewalk, the same sidewalk where 4 men were shot.
What the fuck?
Vert was born and raised between 67th and 79th. He went to Henry O. Tanner Elementary while growing up off 67th. Being the youngest of 8 children, Vert grew up playing basketball, and since his mom would have a job at Foot Locker, he was always seen in the latest Jordans. Later, after moving to 79th, Vert would attend Emil G. Hirsch High School, where he would be kicked out for fighting, and transfer to Harlan High School, where he would be kicked out again for fighting. Vert does describe himself as somewhat of a bully since he had a lot of friends, and if he had beef, so did his 20 friends. It was around this time that Vert's father had been sentenced to 5 years in prison, and this would clearly get to Vert and display through his behavior. Thankfully, Vert would end up with a girl to settle down with in about 2017, who he would end up staying with for quite a while, and she would help him navigate through these confusing times. It is notable to also mention that it was around this time that Vert would really start to hang out with Jay Boogie and the infamous Lil Jeff, the Bloodhound Brothers. Vert claims that he had been smoking weed since he was 13, and it wasn't until about 18 years old that he would start getting into Xanax and Percocet, which would have a major impact on Vert moving forward. Similar to Lil Jeff, after high school, Vert would start to be rejected by colleges for playing basketball, and that would really start to kill his confidence. Vert would at that point fully shift his focus to making music, and the rest would be history. Now, Vert's controversy would start around this time with his old hood, Trap City, as he's seen here with them in this photo. Trap City Rob and other members would make claims that ever since Vert started hanging with Lil Jeff and the Bloodhounds, that he would start to switch up. This all would come full circle, as we all know Lil Jeff was killed outside of Trap City Rob's grandma's house, and he would even be picked up and arrested at that same location later on, but I digress. Vert would then drop what seems to be his first video titled Piss Me Off, shot by AMF Visuals, which at the end he would even say, shout out them bloods. The following month in December 2021, Vert would drop another visual for Gang Shit, featuring the famous Bloodhound JB Bin Laden, which was Vert's first huge song. JB Bin Laden is one of the longest known members of Bloodhounds and had already been rapping with some of the big names at the time. Not only did this help boost Vert's career, but it would also solidify Vert as a publicly known Bloodhound, in which his friends from Trap City would start to notice a change in Vert. Soon, to start off 2022, he would sit down for an interview with Truth Teller TV, where Vert would bring Trap City Taro on camera, and would also let the world know where he's from.
I'm from 67 Trap City and 79 Drill City. My name Rell Vert, man.
This interview would be a pivotal moment, considering Taro was starting to catch wind of everybody's feelings back in Trap City about Vert switching up. However, the motion that Vert was receiving after dropping a couple of songs was undeniable, and Vert knew that he had to keep going hard at this point. Thankfully, AMF Visuals would approach Vert with an offer to shoot his videos for free, as long as he could just keep dropping them on his channel. He would even go as far to offer to manage Vert's career. This kind of opportunity is extremely rare to come by, and Vert knew this. After this moment, history was made, and Vert would go on to drop about 8 visuals in 2022, amounting in over 1 million views, including tracks like Poof and I Love My Draco featuring Lil Jeff. Through all of the motion and recognition that Vert was receiving, he wanted to give back to the friends that he grew up with in Trap City. So on Vert's 21st birthday, he decided to bring AMF to the block and do a vlog to shine some light on where he came from. In 2023, Vert would seemingly slow down on music a bit, dropping 4 visuals, which include Op K featuring Lil Jeff and Stretched, which sits at about 2.5 million views to date, which is clearly Vert's first song to not only hit 1 million, but over 2 million. However, as much success Vert had seen, it seems when he's not putting out music, he's in the streets running drills. We would hear about it when Vert would be on live with his ops.
I did not know this nigga was getting all these
shot
views.
himself on a drill by accident.
What? Shot himself?
You mad because you shot your stuff on the drill?
Alright, okay. You gonna say that? You gonna
Put
say
that on my head, you ain't shoot yourself on the drill.
You gonna say that? Okay, but guess what?
Fuck.
Get y'all dumb ass
You
shot
was a
that day.
goofy.
I'm not sure how valid this claim is, but it seems true since Vert doesn't really deny it, and this would would continue to become the narrative moving forward. Not to mention, around 2023,
Shot
Vert would
yourself
seemingly lose
on
his
the
mother. And in his
drill?
words, my music was weak when I lost my mom, so I quit and let Jeff take over. But 2024, Vert would hit the ground running, dropping projects back to back, including FTO, which is at over 1 million views. He was ready to prove to everyone that he was here to stay as a drill rapper. But unfortunately for Vert, 2024 was about to be the most life-changing year yet. In June 2024, Lil Jeff would be gunned down right outside of Trap City Rob's grandmother's house.
Look at what
R.I.P.
they
Lil
was
Jeff.
doing.
Soon after, Vert would drop a vlog from his recent 23rd birthday back in May, in which we would see the bond that Vert and Lil Jeff really shared together. Then, only a month later, in July 2024, the Bloodhounds would lose another member, Lil Scoop, after he was backdoored by a female. R.I.P. Lil Scoop. Vert was now dealing with the loss of his two friends after just celebrating his 23rd birthday together. He would be seen on the couch of DJU TV for a full in-depth interview, considering the last time he was seen on this same couch was with Lil Jeff back in May. We would really get to know Vert through this interview, where he talks about his drug addiction,
Nigga
making a
look
girl
drunk
snort
as
a
shit.
perk, and also seen flexing a watch, which he claims he stole from the ops.
Mix they drugs anyway, so that shit get you higher if you mix it. The motherfucker mix a Zen with a perk and you know? That shit get you higher, so shit. Yeah.
Okay. Now, it was actually a video posted of yourself doing it. You and the white girls.
I made the white girl Tony. I made her Tony. I said, yeah, boy, go ahead. We in the county, yeah, though.
Yeah, so.
Shit, my
Nigga
fuck
drunk
go
as
through
shit,
man.
high as shit.
My fuck go through shit, man.
Look
So
at him, it's a
I don't know
crackhead.
shit. And it's a controlled substance shit, so you know how that shit go.
These free watches, right? These fly ass watches y'all be having on y'all wrist. You got one on right now. Where you get that watch from, Vert?
If I tell you I had to kill you.
Huh?
If I tell you I had to kill you. Nah, I just playing. Oh man, I got nice friends. They love me, man. Glee.
They love his wet and shit.
What was just say? They let us wet and shit. Hey, you see this? Bring your shit back, man. Bring your shit back.
You want it back?
Just call the phone, you know. That's all. But yeah,
It's around.
it's around.
Man, y'all niggas crazy, man.
No, that
Jeff and
is
Scoop's murder would
crazy.
take the internet by storm, and soon everyone knew who the Bloodhounds were, and Vert was ready to capitalize on this opportunity. Because in 2024, Vert would drop a total of 18 visuals racking up over 12 million views. Now, just like every other story we cover, as soon as an artist gets a ton of recognition, someone from their past feels like they got left behind. In this case, it would be none other than Trap City Taro, the person who would be seen sitting right next to Vert in his very first interview. Taro would go on DJU to let the world know that he thinks Vert is, quote, fake, and he switched up.
He was playing in that middle shit for too long, lying to us like he went with my, you know, this your best friend and shit. You lying to us, and we your real homies. You don't even know dude. You met dude in 2021. So you've been knowing him for 3 years, and I've been knowing you for 10 years. That's why we fell out. He ain't no real nigga. And the niggas that he's around, they'll see that shit in a couple more months. Let him get around the people. He ain't thorough, he ain't genuine. He fake, for real, for real.
It wouldn't take long for Vert to respond, and they would engage in this back and forth where Taro claims that when the Bloodhounds find out who Vert really is, that they won't fuck with him anymore.
Man, hey, look, listen, folks. Y'all know what's to Lil Jeff. Y'all know about my shorty, man. Y'all know what the he do. He was punishing all that. We really wanted that nigga, man. Roll past Fat Rob so many times. Is that no points, no bucket? Is that lame? Could never hang with us. You know that these niggas straight fans of us from my dead Uncle Greg, boy. Y'all know though. But you niggas is acting just like them the other side, gang. 67, 83. You brick it, lame niggas, man. Y'all ain't having nothing. Get it up there, stupid. Hey, you know.
Just told me about you, gang.
Oh.
I ain't gonna say shit to my dear. I ain't gonna say nothing, so to keep between me and him. So I ain't gonna say nothing. Just all I know, look, your homies know you are fucking goofy, and they know your ain't right. Once the real find out who you really is, gang, they not gonna like you, gang.
While Vert would say, stop trolling before we do that shit again, but worse. Referring to the get back that the Bloodhounds got on Trap City Vell. Trap City Vell was murdered as revenge for Lil Jeff. And on top of that, at Vell's funeral, the Bloodhounds would slide again, taking the life of Vell's innocent sister. After this, Vert would be seen on No Jumper, where he would open up about losing Jeff and Scoom.
Shit, where was you at when you heard the news about Jeff passing, man?
I was in the crib. Yeah, that shit f***ed me up. I just had to talk to Blood too. That shit crazy. I was supposed to be in the crib with Blood, but I was doing some other shit. That shit crazy, fool.
Vert would also be seen shortly after with one of Lil Jeff's exes and T-Slick getting matching tattoos in memory of Lil Jeff. And apparently Vert is directly related to the late FBG Duck, and the notorious Mama Duck would call out Vert for not showing respect after going to his funeral.
You know that's my little cousin, right?
Vert, yeah.
His mama last name Weekly. That's my first cousin. I didn't talk to Terrell. His name Terrell. Y'all call him Vert, but his name Terrell. And I'm telling my little cousin, I can take this shit from these other people, Vert, but Terrell, I can't take it from you, baby. You want to get it in the middle of this shit, and you want to sit up there and diss your motherfucking cousin for some clout.
Vert would respond by denying these claims, saying, I didn't go to dude's funeral. I don't give two fucks about no duck. 63rd, none of that. Vert would also troll the ops after they allegedly came to take out Vert and got met with a headshot while hanging out the window of a vehicle. I guess to top all this off, Vert's hairstylist would let the world know that she refuses to do house calls after visiting Vert and saying, quote, I'm not gonna do none of that weird cluck vibe ass shit. And Vert would respond with, you broke and want some clout. By 2024, Vert would shift his focus back in a positive direction, pushing his career forward. He would be involved in a vlog with Brandon Buckingham where they were shot at leaving a studio.
Shooting happened right outside of Studios. As a matter of fact, I want you to come take a look at this. One of the bullets pierced this door, and that's not the only one. We found a shell casing on the sidewalk, the same sidewalk where 4 men were shot.
But more notably, Vert would then be brought out to a trippy Red show seen backstage at Juice WRLD Day and put out a video with Netspend titled What It Was, which is at almost 1 million views now. However, to wrap up 2024, Vert would drop a diss track titled Sweet, where he would diss the ops from Trap City. Then he would post the crime scene where his ops were gunned down with the caption saying, and they want to diss me? Vert was clearly still on a dark path and things were about to get worse. Coming into 2025, Vert has dropped 4 tracks at the time of this recording. A couple being Used to Be Dusty, featuring Baby Chief, and Chasin', which has hit over 1 million views. But other than that, Vert has been faced with a ton of controversy, starting with Vert snorting a Percocet with females and posting a video of a woman dancing on his head. Not to mention Rico Reckless, who is a longtime friend of the Bloodhounds, would clap back at Vert after he was trolling in the comments saying, you let your homie die on a drill, stop playing with me, shorty, referring to Lil Jeff. Vert would then respond by saying he would fly out to Texas to slap Rico's son.
He only letting him do that because his son and never be in Chicago. But he don't, you know, motherfucker gonna come out there to Houston. Hey, Grouchy, what you want? Motherfucker gonna come out there to Houston, smack the fuck out of his son. You was scared to fight the nigga Roof. What makes you think you gonna try to even play with us?
It is clear that Vert is dealing with some deep-rooted trauma, after he would then post that he was in a dark place and felt alone. And not too long after this, we would see Vert on IG Live dancing when he got Percocet, then nodding off. Now, this should be extremely alarming to anyone who knows Vert, and after seeing his drug use get perpetually worse after losing Jeff and Scoom, I really hope that Vert can pull himself out of this dark place before it's too late. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next.
Crazy. He's definitely not.